Live from my pet raccoon's walk-in closet. It's a magical post-holiday Monday. Wait, it's actually Tuesday. Edition of Business Pants. Joined as always by Emma Summer Breeze lurking and Matt Being Green isn't easy Muscardi. I'm unleaded.
Oh,
okay.
You're gasoline now.
In today's pock-marked satchel of rainbow-scented nuggets called July 5th, 2022, sexy story updates, sleazy academic papers, and Emma Lurking's new daily trends report.
Emma goes trend diving. Yeah, what we
Yeah,
don't
I
have a
do.
Do we have a name for it?
No, we don't.
Name?
we don't.
Anyone?
It's Emma's trendy dumpster dive.
Oh, I like that.
I like that.
I like that. Emma's trendy dumpster dive.
Let's see if we have some new magic with yet another segment here if you let me do. All right, ready? Come on.
Yeah, let's do it. Hurry up. Are we putting a timer on Damien today? We
Yeah,
are.
because these updates take a while.
Do
Oh,
it.
I already lost 4
You
seconds.
lost 5. Go, go, go.
All the A-list guests who have been spotted at Sun Valley, the annual summer camp for billionaires. I just wanted to point out some oddities from this list. First of all, Facebook COO Sheryl Sandberg, according to Business Insider. I don't know.
COO.
Yeah, what are you doing, Business Insider? You don't listen to us? I mean, really, how dare you? Next, Jeffrey Katzenberg. I like this one. The co-founder of DreamWorks and the now defunct Quibi. Why does he get? Why do they put his failure in his byline?
Did they
no one else's
wait,
failure.
They wrote
They wrote the now defunct Quibi. How dare they?
Yeah.
They didn't just write Quibi. They wrote now defunct.
The now defunct.
Ouch.
I also like this one. Stanley Druckenmiller. They call him a former hedge fund manager. That I don't know. Is that a kind of thing to be a former hedge fund manager? Is that a proper title? Emma's not sure about that one.
Once kids, I was a hedge fund manager.
I like this one. I like this one, and I say sorry to Susan Arnold. Disney chairman Bob Iger. Oh, I didn't know he was
former.
back.
Not
Except
former.
he's not back. No, it doesn't say former, Matt. It says
Wow,
Disney
current.
chairman. Yeah.
Ouch. It's a
So Business
punch
Insider,
to the
you
groin.
continue to suck. This one I like just because I hate this term, but they call Shari Redstone the chairman of Viacom CBS.
Oh yes, yeah.
I just need to retire that. I hate that. I hate that so much.
What is wrong with chair? What is just wrong with
Nothing.
chair? Nothing.
And finally,
Nothing.
you know who's at the summer camp for billionaires, Matt?
No.
You know who they get to hang out with? That's Activision Blizzard CEO Bobby Kotick. Yes, he's at summer camp.
Oh, yay!
What do you say when you see this guy? How do you pretend to have a conversation with him over some fried shrimp or whatever they're having? What
hopefully they're saying, I read all the letters that your responses in your proxy statements. They were excellent about all the progress you've made on.
Let's move over to
assaulting
stakeholders rule. Stakeholders rule. Burger King employee Kevin Ford. He never missed a day's work in 27 years. He was a cook at a Burger King location. So Burger King gave him some presents. They gave him a string backpack, a movie ticket, a lanyard, a coffee cup, and some candy. That was his. Never missed a day of work in 27 years. So
it was worth it.
It was posted to TikTok. He actually posted it not in he wasn't shaming the company. He was just like, he's just a sweet guy, and he just posted it on TikTok. It got a lot of attention. He ended up with a GoFundMe page. His daughter put it up there to help him raise $200 so he could visit his grandchildren, right? $200.
Just
right
sell
now,
the string backpack and you're covered.
Right now, that GoFundMe is currently at $357,000.
Wow.
There you go.
Wow.
That's it's great to know that a
Thanks,
corporation
Burger
can
King.
take advantage of you for 27 years and someone else will fund your actual needs.
We've got some greenwashing this week. The NFL pledging $100 million with a contract with an ice cube operated thing to funnel more NFL money into black-owned companies. I don't know. This just strikes me as anything the NFL does strikes me as preemptive greenwashing.
I do think that the headline, though, as written, Ice Cube lands $100 million NFL pledge for contract with Black America. If you didn't know it was called Contract with Black America, that's the name of the org, you'd just be like, they made a contract with Black America, like blacks in
Yeah,
America?
doesn't
That
seem
just-
right.
It doesn't seem quite right. I don't
How
know.
about this, NFL? Get some black owners, get some black coaches, and forget your weird contract.
How dare you?
Amazon is now barring employees from warehouses during off hours. I guess Christian Smalls, the guy celebrated for the successful union campaign in Staten Island. That's how he got it done. He went into facilities off hours. So Amazon's banning that practice.
Do not leave your water bottle behind, people. You cannot get back in to get it.
This one's for you, Emma. So United Pilots got a 14.5% pay raise. And then American offered its pilots 17%. So the United pilots are like, let's I don't know about this. I want 17%. See how easy it is? It's
This
just,
is
like this is
collective
it. You just
bargaining is just
right, exactly. You get together. You're just like, I don't think so, dude. Some sad stuff. Tesla now being sued by 15 black employees alleging racial harassment.
This
is not a fun.
how? Wait.
It's just not a fun story to read. Some of the stuff that's in this is overlooking black employees for promotion, allowing the use of racial slurs, including the N-word, racist graffiti in bathrooms, including swastikas, KKK. Here's a weird story. One plaintiff said that he was tackled by another employee while on the job, and after reporting it, he was told, "Suck it up and be a man. This happens here all the time."
Yeah. Yeah, it does.
Getting tackled because you're black?
Yes. Yeah. Tackled by while being black. That's the thing.
I remind you that there's already another lawsuit against Tesla from California civil rights regulator. There was a couple of lawsuits for similar stuff. One was wrapped up somewhat recently. Suing for racial harassment, he won $137 million. Another one, a black gay woman, also suing them. I'm just saying this is not.
But
unusual
Damien, why
behavior
are
at
they
Tesla.
not on the ESG index at S&P? It's a real scam.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Speaking of blowhard billionaires named Musk, Musk forced to halt Tesla assembly line in struggling Berlin plant for 2 weeks over production problems. Okay, it happens. I guess, for Musk.
to
If
Tesla.
you're tackling black people, how do you have time to produce things?
Yeah. Remember that story about Jeff Bezos' mega yacht? They
do.
wanted
Yep.
they wanted to take down a historic bridge. They're not going to do that anymore. You know why? The
Excellent.
company is not going to ask them to dismantle the historic bridge. Here's the reason why. They were worried that locals would vandalize the ship as it passed by. I like that thought.
Poor ship.
Throw
Jeff
eggs.
Bezos in the White House, they were fighting over inflation. The White House press secretary ended up saying, but I guess it's not surprising that you think oil and gas companies using market power to reap record profits at the expense of the American people is the way our economy is supposed to work. So anyway, Bezos is now fighting with the White House. It's a weird one. Google says it will delete location history data of users visiting abortion clinics. That's big news. Unfortunately, we have to rely.
Thanks,
Unfortunately, we have to
Goose.
rely on our corporate overlords for things like that. And finally, for you, Matt, I know I'm over time, but I had to get this one in here. A huge mass of wet wipes has formed in the Thames in London, changing the course of the river. They're calling it Wet Wipe Island. It's the size of 2 tennis courts.
Yep.
Wow.
See, not all the bad stuff happens in America. Okay? Just telling you.
Just the
Can
place
one
where
vacation
America
yet?
came
Is there an Airbnb on Wet Wipe Island?
Remember, this is following up on a story we covered a while ago, Matt, where remember there was something called a fatberg?
I forgot
that?
about the fat
Masses of solid waste made of grease and fat that can block sewers, 90% of which are wet wipes. Wet wipes, people. Wet
I
wipes.
forgot how much I like that. Oh, and
Stop
by the
wiping
way,
your butt with wet wipes. Get over it.
Google, instead of having
You're
to
laughing,
delete,
Emma, but it's a problem.
But Google, instead of having to delete location data of your users because now it's illegal to get abortions in half this country, maybe you could just not fund, say, Kevin Brady, Republican, Texas, who wants abortions to be done.
I'm with you, Matt. I'm for that.
Stephen Chabot, Republican, Ohio. Like, just stop it. Just stop with that part. All right.
I'm for that. Matt, nerd alert.
Nerd Alert.
Come on.
Let's put a timer up. It's Tuesday's post-holiday edition of Nerd Alert, where I read nerd stuff that's smarter than anything we can say and translate it into stupid for you. Here's some context for this week's Nerd Alert. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Ernst & Young to pay $100 million penalty for employees cheating on CPA ethics exams and misleading investigations. We covered what was widely covered. EY auditors were cheating on their ethics exams. And yes, you heard that right. They cheated on the ethics portion of their exams.
It's still funny when you say it. Yeah.
Let's talk about ethics at EY. The closest thing I could find on EY's website in their code of ethics was, quote, "We acknowledge that each of us is responsible for keeping our professional knowledge up to date and for sharing best practices and innovation." So I actually think in their code of ethics, sharing answers might actually be sharing best practices, right? So EY is just following their own code of ethics. It's not so much a problem. But it turns out most ethics codes and values, which I know as you read them feel like fluffy bullshit and it seems very familiar. It seems like you've read the same ethics codes. And if you're wondering if you have, a paper from 2009 by Margaret Foster.
2009.
Yeah, 2009. Tim Loughran and Bill McDonald, all of Notre Dame. The paper called Commonality in Codes of Ethics. It will answer that question. They compared a database of ethics statements from the S&P 500 and analyzed every one of them for textual overlaps, similarities in sentences, whether companies basically boilerplate their ethics. And this is in the context here for this is the SEC has said, quote, "Ethics codes do and should vary from company to company." Do and should.
Well, did the SEC read proxy statements? Because the whole thing is boilerplates.
They do not. Here is what ethics looks like according to the paper. More than half of the S&P 500 had ethics language that correlated 75% of the time. More than half.
So more than half are copying and pasting ethics codes.
They're basically copying and pasting from each other. There's 75% correlation between the language or some bits of language in their code.
I blame Google for making it so damn easy to copy and paste.
For the S&P 500 companies, the average matched sentences, as in copies of sentences, they copied 37 sentences on average in their ethics.
Really? 37?
Yes.
I didn't even know they were that big.
37 sentences. The average, it's 212 sentences for the average ethics code. So we're talking about a significant portion is copied.
Straight up laziness at your job.
In fact, nearly 1 in 10 S&P 500 companies had some layer of ethics code commonality. That was like almost 1 for 1. And the largest S&P 500 companies, half of them just copied each other's shit somewhere in the code. Here was my favorite part of this paper.
Okay.
The sentences of choice, the biggest stealers, and
the most
duplicates.
copied sentences.
Okay.
12% of companies on the S&P 500 used a variation or a copy of, quote, "Theft, carelessness, and waste have a direct impact on the company's profitability."
Wait,
they use some
carelessness?
variation of that.
I get theft and waste. What does that mean, carelessness?
I'm just saying, this is what the nerds say.
Dropping your Chick-fil-A order over your neighbor's lap?
That's how you lose profitability, yeah.
Okay.
5% had a variation of this sentence. Any suspected incident of fraud or theft should be immediately reported for investigation.
I think that should be more than 5%. I think it should be more than 5%. That should be a full 100%. Yeah.
But my favorite was 4% of S&P 500 companies wrote some variation or exactly, quote, "Stealing proprietary information, possessing trade secret information that was obtained without owner's consent, or inducing such disclosures by past or present employees of other companies is prohibited."
That's awkward.
Yes. They say stealing from other companies is prohibited, except, of course, when stealing the boilerplate ethics language for your code of conduct.
Well, that's an interesting question, Matt. I know you're also a lawyer by trade. If you steal from someone who's already stolen it, is it really stealing?
It's a double steal. It cancels each other out. I think that's the legal. Yeah, it's the legalese. Although Brett Kavanaugh and Samuel Alito would probably disagree. The biggest stealers. Duke Energy stole from or gave to Spectra Energy. There was a 98% correlation between the two of them. Literally 2% of the words were different.
And the companies are not like It's not owned by the same entity or anything. These are two different.
They are
companies.
competitors. They are actually direct competitors.
Okay. I like
Qualcomm and TSR, 98% correlation.
Okay.
Here's one that actually blew me away. Pyramid Breweries
Yep.
and Eden Bioscience, 97% correlated.
But do we know who stole from who? I'm guessing it was
We
the
don't.
drunks over at Pyramid Breweries.
We don't know who stole from who, but someone there was like, hey, Eden Bioscience has one of these. We should just use theirs. We're a brewery. We brew alcohol. What the hell?
I think they're smarter because to steal from another energy company, you're going to figure that one out. But to steal from Eden Bioscience,
I love it.
Never know.
I'm sure they just have the same law firm, but I love it anyway. Fun examples of duplicates in my last paper shout out here. Duplicate sentences these are sentences that appeared word for word. These are exact duplicate sentences. One was, there are no shortcut formulas or automatic answers to the choices we have to make in business today.
Oh
yeah,
my God.
I'm dead serious. That's a duplicate.
Wow.
Except for this sentence, there are no shortcut formulas. Except for this very sentence.
And then, in case you were wondering, there was a sentence that said, the company is committed to promoting the values of honesty, integrity, and fairness in the conduct of its business, and yada, yada, yada. And from the Ernst & Young Code of Conduct, their ethics, we nurture integrity, respect, teaming, and inclusiveness. We are committed to communicating open and honestly. In fact, Google auto-completed the last sentence for me. I'm not joking. As I wrote that into the Google Doc,
openly and honestly.
They auto-completed openly and honestly. That's how common it was. So that's the paper.
Wow.
I mean, good for Google, really, because they're aware that people are cutting and pasting these and stealing these. So why not? They can just help you right there in Google. You don't even have to go out.
Better than that. Google is harvesting all of the code of ethics, and they basically probably, if I just wrote code of ethics, hit enter, it would probably just pre-populate with every comment.
You're highlighting my point, Matt. Google's making it too easy to steal. It's Google's fault.
It's
you know what it's time for?
Plausible deniability. Yeah.
It's time for we have a brand new segment on the show. How many segments have we probably had over? How many segments have we had over 2 years? Probably like 800.
I couldn't possibly tell you.
80,000 failed segments.
But this one is this one's going to be a success. This is Emma's trendy dumpster dive. Is that the name you're comfortable with?
That is what that is called. Yep.
She doesn't feel proud about what's trending, Emma Lorcan?
All right. Here's what is trending. I have 3 trending things. Number 1 is Instagram insurance.
Instagram insurance.
I don't even know what that is.
Correct. You don't know what that is because it shouldn't be a real thing. An Israeli-based startup is offering insurance on your Instagram account to protect from hackers. So the idea is that if you are a content creator and you have make money off of your social media presence and you cannot get into your account.
We don't qualify.
Yeah, no, we do not qualify, for sure not. They will compensate you the way you would if something happened to your house and you had
I like it.
home insurance, for example. So
I like it.
I like that you need insurance when Instagram is supposed to be moderated. It's supposed to be already protected, right?
You would think, but Notch, the company's name is Notch. They disagree, and they say that like other insurance, you're not supposed to be affiliated with the thing that you're insuring. So they are not affiliated with Instagram or Meta in any way, it would seem. So, for example, a sample insurance policy that from TechCrunch saw was $38 a month in payment, and it will pay you out $244 for every day that the creator cannot access their account.
Every day.
Every day.
$44 a day.
Okay.
That almost
$44.
That's wow. I mean, you do that long enough, you get a string backpack and a coffee cup.
You do
with that kind of money.
And there is a limit on it. You can only get payment for up to 90 days. This is also this specific policy, by the way. Yeah, so 90 days up to $22,000. That's where they max out.
This sounds like the abortion payments
Doesn't
for for employees. Yeah.
Wah sound effect.
They only launched this month, so there's not much else to say about it just yet. But my take is that the world is falling apart, and I know that because Instagram insurance is a thing. And if that's not a sign of the apocalypse, I really, really, really don't know.
There's a lot of apocalypse signs.
What else? What else is trending, Emma?
Something else from 4th of July weekend, Nathan's Hot Dogs. So this weekend, Joey won his 15th Nathan's Hot Dog eating contest with 63 hot dogs.
Yes.
And shocking. And so this led me down a rabbit hole of looking into
Free
Nathan's
float
Hot
rabbit
Dogs,
hole. Yeah.
the company. And shockingly, Nathan's Hot Dogs is a public company. I
don't like
almost didn't even look because I assumed it would not be a public company, but it 100% is. And when you go and look at their governance, they do not have a single woman on their board.
Yeah.
Well, it's proof, Emma. I say this almost every show. Women don't eat hot dogs.
Which is ironic because I literally had a hot dog for dinner last night, but we don't have to talk about that.
Fake news.
No, fake news, and you only eat Taco Bell. We all know that.
This is true. I don't branch.
No
out
women
my
on their
fast food,
board.
typically.
Nathan's, the American, the very famously American, on July 4th. No
Look,
women. Why
is
do you
there
need women to run
anything
your
more
company?
American than leaving
That's
women
true.
out?
That's true.
Oh, and if you think that that's not American, or if
what
that's
else?
really American, wait until you hear the next thing, which is that dogs do not produce their own hot dogs. They outsource it to Smithfield
do.
Foods, which
Wow.
is also not the hot dogs themselves because they are owned by WH Group, which is a Chinese food manufacturing
Yes.
company.
It's like a trifecta of stupidity.
This is the great. This honestly, I didn't know any of that, and this has been the greatest dumpster trend dive.
Congratulations,
I've ever heard.
Neithan's.
Yeah, they really handed it to me on a silver
Can you
platter.
top
It was
that
just-
story? You cannot top that
No.
story.
No,
it's not
it's
going to happen.
impossible.
Maybe not, but maybe the take next story will be intriguing to you. So, and
Okay, what else?
finally, the number third trend I dumpster dived for today was CERN, which is the European Center for Nuclear Research, is going to be running
Look at you.
their Large Hadron Collider, aka the thing that discovered the God particle, for the third time, and it will be running for 4 more years. So the reason that this is trending is not because people are actually interested in science.
Oh, good.
They think that CERN might be opening up a portal to another dimension, which is cool.
I think so too.
Yep. So, for example, we have Patrick Moynihan tweeting, people worried that CERN is going to open up a portal to the demon dimension or whatever, as if we deserve anything that cool. He's right. But there are people who are legitimately worried about this, which is why it's making the rounds on Twitter. But my take on this actually has to do with climate change.
Okay.
I saw a tweet that said CERN is flipping back on tomorrow using as much power per day as nearly 4 million homes would. CERN will use more power per day than 1,000 windmills will produce in a year. If we had a climate emergency, CERN wouldn't turn on at all unless it's to create the emergency.
Oh,
So
get over yourselves.
this is really something. However, all of that information is a random ass unverified tweet or Twitter account that I cannot verify in any way. But it is a good point that it probably uses a lot of energy, and it is being funded by countries who are all major contributors to climate change. And the machine that they are using cost almost $5 billion to build, and somehow no one can get the money together to fight climate change.
Emma, this is why you're never going to work for Meta Platforms, because CERN is opening a portal to the metaverse, and you're not going to be a part of it.
Oh,
Like,
no.
don't you understand? Like, this
I
is
don't
the
wanna go
final
there
stage
either.
of Mark Zuckerberg's. This is what's really happening. This is funded by Mark Zuckerberg. It must
Look,
be.
if
We're going to discover the metaverse.
If we had to prioritize, though, turning on television in 4 million homes or turning on CERN's Large Hadron
Yeah,
Collider.
shut your TVs off.
Yeah, shut your TVs off and quit whining.
Okay, but
CERN's
all I'm
more
saying
important.
is that, so basically every European country state of CERN, and they all contribute funding based on the country's GDP, but like the United States donated.
Anti-science. Emma Lurking,
Yeah.
anti-science.
I'm anti-wasteful. What are we doing with this money when
No.
all of a sudden we can't
What
find the
about-
money to
what
give
about
to the
turning
countries
on
that
the-
are going to be impacted most by climate change that we created? That's all. I'm
What
saying.
about turning on the power to your stupid sports stadium so you can watch people dribble a ball or throw
It's a
a
good
ball?
point.
Exactly.
Who
Correct.
needs that?
I think you're just boning up my point, honestly.
No, I think like we're talking about the Higgs particle, Higgs boson. This is like important stuff. This allows us to get to another dimension. Remember, that's what Patrick Moynihan, who was I assume that Patrick Moynihan is the same Patrick Moynihan who was like, the Democratic senator from like 2000? Like, is it that
Daniel,
guy? Like
Daniel Moynihan's son?
Absolutely not.
who
Absolutely
the hell
not.
is that? That's just a guy named Patrick
All right.
somewhere.
He's just
Now
a guy
we're-
named
like,
Patrick
I am with
who has a blue
Patrick.
check nick.
Before we wrap up,
Patrick.
I learned something horrible today. Elon Musk has a son named Damien. What the? How come no one told me
Damien
this?
Musk.
This is terrible news.
Is
That
it the
was
same
Damian
spelling?
Musk and Emma Lurking.
different,
I
thank
am
God.
Matt Muscardi. We are Free Float Media. This was Business Pants. If you like this, you don't. We'll talk to you again some other
What
time.
kind of
Goodbye.
a person is this, Emma?